To a nice, check out the wave right now. This is Guillermo Tamega already drawing blood. Look at this air up top there. Will he throw a spin or anything to finish it off? No, but nonetheless, a decent opening ride for Guillermo Tamega, a multi-time world champion and pretty much the forefather of Brazilian bodyboarding in the modern age. And we're going to come back with a replay of that. Check out GT on the right. Boosts a nice little air. Nice and clean. It was a big size wave, so he should get a decent score out of that wave. And right now we're going to throw to a little ad right now so you can get a message from our sponsors. We're going to come back with Sasha Specs next to me and the second quarterfinal.
That's good.
Okay, we are back live at the Arica Chilean Challenge presented by the Municipalidad de Arica as well as Tomate's Surf Shop. Also, we have to thank Science Bodyboards. That's right, Mike Stewart not only surfing the contest, he's sponsoring it and commentating it. Also, Movie Star and Lawn Airlines. It looks like Uri Valadao paddling on the left. No, it is Guillermo Tamega. Ooh, using...
I don't know what the judges are going to deem that. That's a little bit of a priority scrap, if you want to call it that.
Well, I would assume that Uri had a priority right there, so he was using his priority. So now, why are they not racing back out?
I think that both these riders actually gave up their priority, which means priority stays exactly the same way it was before.
Okay.
That is my guess. That is why they're not going for a paddle battle.
Okay.
And you know, it's pretty complicated, this kind of stuff, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of priority rules. I'm glad the judges are doing that, and I don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
That's right. And once again, I'm Eric Apple. This is Sasha Specker, one of our GSS Tour riders. He qualified for the big boys, and he's been here doing a great job. He has some good heats leading into this contest. Didn't quite make it to the quarters, but Sasha, we have some amazing waves out there. Did you tell us your experience of this contest out there?
It's been quite an experience for me. This is the first time I've been in the GSS draw. So, you know, previously I was always doing trials, and it was a whole event before I even got to the event. So now just being with the top 24 is a whole experience on its own, and a whole new level of riding that I had to step up to, which has been, you know, it's a journey on its own.
Yeah, it's a journey, but it's also an accomplishment. I mean, congrats to anybody who can make that tour. It's good on you. And also, so you guys know, Sasha, one of the hardest working guys here. You know, not only is he, you know, competing in the IBA, but he's working, shooting photos, and doing all kinds of other ancillary work behind the scenes for the IBA and the sport of bodyboarding in general. So everyone has to appreciate this guy, and I certainly do.
Thank you, Eric. And on your screen right now, you can see GT's first wave dropped in. That's a 5.75 for that invert. He got busy real early, 26 minutes remaining, so he's in a really good position right now. And Uri Valadao has not quite opened his account just yet. He's just waiting for something that he likes. You can actually see the photographers in the bottom of your screen there just getting into position. They want to get that front row seat view and make sure that they document that for you guys to see at home later on today. So make sure you follow all of our social media.
Yeah,
Facebook, Twitter.
I've been on here this morning. We have questions and comments coming in, and it's funny though. Every time we have Mike on, nobody wants to ask about the contest or anything to do with the event. They just want to ask Mike about all kinds of crazy questions. Which, hey, I don't blame them. I mean, let me tell you what. When I was 10 years old, from the age of like 8 years old to probably like 17 years old, like half the walls of my room were covered with pictures of Mike Stewart.
Exactly. I mean, he's been an icon for that long, and he's such a huge figure in the sport that, you know, he has been dominating the sport for so long and has so much knowledge and experience that, you know, asking him a few questions and getting some answers is an experience on its own. So guys, please feel free to ask questions when somebody's in the booth, or if you want to know something, fire away. We want to hear your opinion and want to hear what you're interested in. So please do. And looks like Uri Valadao is having a look at this. He's a pretty dangerous competitor on these right-handers. He's been taken to the air throughout this contest and scoring some big numbers.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Uri Valadao. Remember, Uri defeated Guilherme Tamega in an earlier heat. Uri taking a higher line for some speed, right?
He's looking for a big section down the end. He's eyeing it out and gets a big ramp with a textbook ARS backflip. I don't know how he didn't land that. He looked perfectly in control. Just looked like he might have over-bounced on the landing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, remember, we've been talking about it throughout the entire contest that on these longer rights, we have a lot of water moving in from El Bui coming over towards El Gringo. And as that water travels back out to the ocean, it's really creating a solid bump.
That's it.
And a little bit of a chop on that right.
Yeah, you can see he just pushes his body out into the air, massive flip. And he looked like he had a good rotation.
Around,
That lip looked like it might have just pushed down onto him. And I don't think he was expecting that. I thought he might have thought he was out of the flats, a little further away from the wave.
Look at that cool graph we got for Uri, 27-year-old from Brazil.
And this is a past world champion, by the way.
Yes, of course.
He's achieved more than most of us will ever dream of. So
let's take a look at some scores, and not counting that last wave of Uri. Guilherme Tamega has a 5.75 on that first air on that right that we saw about 5 seconds into the quarterfinal. And Uri Valadao has a 2.88 on his first wave. Not quite yet a score for his second wave, so he's obviously going to move up because we count the 2 best waves in the contest. But, man, let's talk about that first heat. Sasha.
Wow.
Dave Winchester and Jacob Romero was a pretty intense heat. You know, there's not too many waves, but how about that air that Jacob Romero threw? It's by far the biggest air of the contest.
I think so. I was lucky enough to be down on the rocks. I actually shot a frame of it.
You got it.
I got it. So I'm pretty pumped on that. The light was real low, so it's real moody. And you kind of could see he had his eye set on a massive ramp off the end. So I was lucky enough to have captured that and seen it firsthand. And I'm sure he's pretty bummed he didn't land it because that's the kind of stuff that Jacob Romero, you know, that's his bread and butter. That's the kind of stuff he does all day, every day. And it's pretty uncharacteristic of him not to land that. So, you know, I mean, you give some, you lose some. That's just how it works. He's had an excellent performance throughout the event, and he should be pretty stoked with that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he'll walk away with a bit of money and some well-deserved points that he's going to need towards his requalification for 2014 on the GSS.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming to that heat, if you want to talk about the whole heat, this is the replay.
This
wow,
is
look at this. Speed line, massive ramp.
We can't show this enough times. Look at this.
He actually hit it perfectly.
And look how far he lands down in the flats.
Wow.
Oh!
No way. Okay, I couldn't actually see that because I was shooting from the other side. I didn't see him actually landing, but that...
It's absolutely amazing. This is one of the biggest airs I've ever seen in the sport in any contest.
I'd have to agree with you. That was wild. That was seriously wild.
And that right there is, you know, the proof is in the pudding. Right there, it just shows how much effort the IBA has put into bringing the best bodyboarders to the best waves.
That's exactly
and that's
what it is.
exactly it right there.
Yep.
Some of the best bodyboarders in the world, you know, doing massive airs in the best waves. And Uri Valadao on his third wave here on this right. Take it away, Sasha.
Coming off the bottom, he's just kind of fighting with the foam a little bit, trying to get a good line. And he can see something down the end. Let's see what he's got here. He's eyeing out a big section again. And just a roll, bit of a safety maneuver. He didn't have much of a section. It kind of crumbled on him. And there you can see GT, Guilherme Tamega. He just kind of in and out. He didn't like the look of that, and it did close out. So good for him for pulling out of that one. I think he would have been in a spot of bother trying to wrestle that thing. And this is a replay of Yuri's wave. He gets a little speed line here. He definitely has his eye on something serious. And like you said, there's maybe that bump that's created from all that water coming out from El Bui is maybe sucking a bit too much water up the face and making a bit of a lumpy section.
And you can see the lump right there, and that doesn't exist on the channel on the other side where the guys are paddling out the lefts. And I actually found out that did not used to exist. Now, when El Gringo used to be an island, the water from El Bui used to be able to go around the backside of us
That's right.
to the harbor.
Of course.
But they built the road here, and now that water stops here, it has to come back out, and that's what creates that little bump there.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't actually think about that. So before they had built this road that gives us access to this amazing place, the water actually used to flow between the mainland and this little island that we're sitting on. And that would have eliminated all of that chop and bump, letting the water through that gap and out the other side to the northern end of the bay.
So there you go, some pertinent information for the fans at home to understand the dynamics of El Gringo. And speaking of dynamic, we have the amazing Yo-Yo, our Chilean Superman, down front with our heat winner, Dave Winchester.
And here we are with the winner of the first quarterfinal, Winnie. Just Winnie, tell us about this first hit.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough one. There's a couple of long barrels on those lefts, and I wish I came out of and would have got really good scores, I think. But I just couldn't push through them. So it's sort of one of those things. I had a 6-something and a 5, and J-Rom did a big air and didn't make it, so it's pretty unlucky for him. But yeah, it's just one of those heats that you just scrape through, but a win's a win, so I'm happy.
Winning here 2 times and winning of last year. How do you feel at that? Ready for semi-final and probably a final?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like I'm surfing pretty well, and I know the wave well enough, so hopefully I can do it again and go back to back.
All right, Winnie, congratulations, and I hope to see you here again.
Yeah, thanks very much. See ya.
Back to you, Eric.
Yo-Yo's awesome. I'll tell you what, during the contest, he's working so hard, and before the contest, he's helping everybody set up, and he's really an integral part of the logistics here in Chile. I mean, as anybody knows who travels internationally, I mean, not only are there language barriers, but there's cultural differences, and business gets done differently in every single country, and you need a local, or several locals to really help you get things done right. And Yo-Yo's been important for that here.
Absolutely, Yo-Yo's the man here. He's always helped me out when I've come here in previous years, and he's always been a big part of the IBA and making things happen here for us. So thank you very much to Yo-Yo. And all the people that help him. He has a support crew too. He's not a one-man show. So,
well, I'll tell you what. He took Lachlan Cramsey and Ryan Hardy and myself down south to the caves down here where the chinchorros used to be, and everyone's so interested in all the history of a early man here in Chile, and we got to go check out some of the ancient caves where the chinchorros were, and we even went up to the El Moro, which is right up above the contest site here, where they have the gigantic statue of Jesus, and you have a view of the entire Valle de Arica. You can see Peru from here. It's really amazing and a beautiful place. I mean, it is a desert, but it's beautiful.
Yep.
Guilherme Tamega, former world champion.
Stroking into this left. Look at him scooping off his board, body in the wave, just
Very
dragging
nice.
into the barrel. And rolls out. He's milking this wave for everything it's worth.
Vintage Guilherme Tamega right there.
Seriously.
He's already in the lead with 7.43. Uri Valadao is a 7.21, but Guilherme is going to extend that lead right now. He's going to turn that 1.68
Here's a replay
into a
of
wave
that.
that doesn't matter.
I love the way he was kind of off his board, almost body surfing that and just kind of laying his board in front of him and then milking a roll out of the barrel. And, he only has to improve on a 1.68, which is a second scoring ride, and he'll definitely do that. Guilherme Tamega from Brazil. There's the stats. You can see it. His current ranking was 25th there. I think he might be a little bit higher right now after this event. So
For sure.
he'll be looking good.
Once again, GT paddling back out. And, we talked about, riders splitting the peak, some going left, some going right. And tell us your opinion on the Sasha. And Mike had an opinion about it earlier. I'm sure you probably agree. Going left seems like an advantage out here because not only is the wave hollower, but it's a shorter wave, and you're able to get back outside and get priority quicker. If you split a peak with someone, you go left and the other guy goes right, you are almost 100% for sure going to get the priority back first, correct?
I think the chances are pretty good of that happening. I think there's a couple of other variables that do play a big factor in that, though. If you do end up going, okay, hang on, I'm going to get back to that. Here you can see Uri Valadao taking off on this left.
So another former world champion from Brazil finding a barrel. Remember, Uri defeated Guilherme. Look at this. Maybe a little better barrel than Guilherme's. I think longer, but no roll.
Definitely better barrel, but no rolo. But I think he's going to get a better score for that. It looked more intense and slightly bigger as well. So we'll see what the judges give him for that. And getting back to that left and right priority situation that happens after the guys have been catching waves, I think a lot of variables fall into that situation where.
Let's take a look at the replay one more time. This is GT, the first of those two. I'm sorry, this is Uri. This is a longer, deeper, better looking barrel, but minus the El Rolo.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be interested to see what the judges give
big
for that.
set coming in.
And back to the left and right. Guys splitting peaks. I think the left definitely has an amazing scoring potential, and you have the ability to get very high scores for not too much work. Whereas the right, you have a little bit of a higher risk. But I have seen more 10s go down on the right.
For sure.
This is a replay of GT Guilherme Tamega's last wave while we were talking about that, and he gets a pretty good barrel here. Let's see if he can get a little maneuver off the end. He goes for an air forward.
See, we didn't see that one. We missed that wave, so we got to see the replay.
Wow.
So nice barrel and a forward air.
That was
And
some
close to the
serious high
rocks.
risk. Yeah, he's really close to the rocks. For those of you who don't know,
He's known for it.
he was a couple of meters away from those rocks. He just has no regard for his own safety.
You know, I'm thinking guys should start wearing Kevlar lined full suits here.
That could be an option.
Ryan Hardy getting ready for the third quarterfinal, competing against his countryman, Ben Player.
And
So we got some scores dropping in. Guillermo Tamega being rewarded with a 7.33. That's right, a 7.33 for Guillermo Tamega, bringing his total score to 13.21. Uri Valadao with a 4.3 and a 6.5 now. So Uri needs a 6.64 to take the lead from Guillermo Tamega.
And that's the situation with 14 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. And I've been trying to get to this point for a while now. So left and right, priority, etc., risks. It's a bit of a risk management situation out here when you're going left or right. But I reckon the reward on the right is massive if you get a big ramp. Whereas you know, the left is a safer option if you're looking just to get a score. The scoring potential is high on just about every wave. And you definitely do have the option to get a very high score on those lefts. I think I saw Mike get a 9.73 or something like that the other day, which was a near perfect score just for a barrel. And you know, those are a dime a dozen out on the left. Whereas on the right, you really have to work for it and get some big ramps.
We had a shot right there of Mike over there with, I saw, who is that? It was Dallas Singer.
And,
I think Winnie was over there, Jake Stone. So Mike hanging out with the crew of Australians as we see Ryan Hardy running over there in his semi-red jersey.
And Ryan Hardy, for those of you who don't know, he was here at the very first Arica Chilean Challenge 10 years ago. And now he is out here competing against points leader at this point in time, Mr. Ben Player, who is looking pretty good in his world title race at the moment, seeing that Mari Laverne and Jeff Hubbard have been eliminated out of this event. And moving into Brazil, he will be sitting in pole position, more than likely. So we'll see once this event is wrapped up, what the new seedings will look like, and what the rankings for the GSS are as we move into that fourth stop of the GoPro IBA World Tour. How's that scenic shot? Little pelican cruising through the lineup. Boys are waiting for a set.
Yeah, well, the ocean is very, very alive here, that's for sure.
Uri Valadao just kind of moving in slowly, having a look at that wave. Just a bit of positioning, but he didn't like it and opts to leave it out. I'd imagine he'd be in first priority right now since GT had that last wave. Unfortunately, we can't see who has priority.
Well, our crew does a good job. They show it to us when it's important. I'm sure they'll show it to us soon.
Exactly. They have an awesome shot there of those little priority discs that the riders can see from the beach, and that is all that matters. The riders need to know. And there's a good view pulled back. That's the competitors area that you're seeing there. That's what we see when we're sitting up in the tower and get to prepare for our heats. It's all very close and very right up on the rocks kind of situation. You can see Ryan Hardy in a knee-deep, foamy.
Okay, Uri paddling over for that right, takes a look at it, not able to get in position. Guillermo Tamega is taking off on the left.
And he's locked into a barrel. I don't know if he's going to come out of this. This looks very tricky. And, you know, he's the man if anyone's going to make it. But I think that one just closed out and he wasn't able to punch through it.
Uri barely sneaking under that set wave. And, you know, you guys see so many boats out in the back all day long in the contest here. And well, I'll tell you why in a minute. As we see Guillermo Tamega once again driving on a left-hander. And him and Dave Winchester have done this so many times throughout the contest. Got these set waves, found these barrels, but they weren't able to escape. Why is that, Sasha?
I don't know. I think the swell might be a little bit more west, and it is a little broken up today. I mean, those lefts are usually big, gaping barrels, and right there, that thing was pinching a little bit, and it was kind of a tricky section to negotiate through. You know, I don't know anyone that would have really made it out of that barrel unless you would have maybe punched a roll through the roof or snuck out the front through a doggy door. But you know, the risk needs to be taken if you want to get the reward, and these guys know that, and they're going to keep trying until they get it.
You get some greetings from Cape Verde Islands for you, Sasha, as we see the scores up there. Still no change, 13.21 for GT, 10.91 for Uri.
I want to give a shout out to those boys in the Cape Verde Islands. I had an awesome trip there a few years back, and they welcomed us with open arms. And you know, what's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, and I hope you guys are scoring waves.
For sure.
And you can see Yuri Valadao, he will without a doubt be in first priority right now. He's hunting down a 6.64, so he's just being patient. He knows what he needs. He'll be getting onto that. Yuri Valadao kind of positioning here. He had a look at it, but he didn't like the look of that. Kind
Good
of
size
just
set
shoulder
coming in there,
left.
though.
And it was probably a good call. And I'm sure these guys, Guilherme Tamega and Yuri Valadao, have got a very healthy rivalry, you know. Coming from Brazil, both having won world titles. They, I know GT has been around a lot longer and has a slightly longer and extensive track record, but Yuri Valadao, nonetheless, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a world champion, so I mean that says it all.
He's one of the most dangerous competitors, and let me tell you, his riding has developed so much over the past few years. He's diversified and adapted to the way bodyboarding has grown and the trends that have taken on. He is definitely, you know, at the pinnacle of the sport at this point in time.
Well, and also, like Mike said, I mean, he would like nothing more than to do well in a big wave contest like this, because he seems to have a reputation as a guy who rides small, medium-sized wave, and he wants to show everyone, hey, I can ride big waves with the best of them.
Absolutely, you know, that stigma is not something that you want to have attached to you.
Yeah.
And you know, us on tour, we see him riding in big waves all the time, and he's definitely proven himself time and time again, like at Fronton and out here, and even at home in Itacochara in Brazil, he was on fire, you know, and it was big. It was 8 to 10 feet, and he definitely showed no shortage of skill out there in those waves. So I think now all he wants to do is prove to the world that he can win an event like this, and he's Archer hungry. With 8 minutes remaining, I think he definitely still has a very good chance of winning this event. And it looks like
yellow is priority.
Guilherme Tamega is actually in priority here. So I stand corrected. GT with first priority. It looked like Yuri Valadao might have paddled for a wave while we weren't looking and given up priority to his fellow countryman, Guilherme Tamega.
So once again, let's set the stage. 7 minutes and 43 seconds to go. Guilherme Tamega is still in the lead, 13.21. Yuri Valadao, also a former world champion, who has already defeated Guilherme in a heat in this contest, has a 10.91. His lowest score is a 4.33. He needs a 6.64 to move into the lead, and it's certainly very, very attainable for him.
Absolutely, with that much time left, you know. I've seen a lot of the heats, they've turned around completely within the last 3 minutes, with both riders catching 1 or 2 more waves. Anything is possible out here right now.
And, you know, and we talked about it, it's because it's so gray here, the clouds and the water, it's hard to get some depth perception and realize how big these waves really are. Look at Uri paddling on the right. Nope.
So he doesn't have priority, so he can actually paddle for anything he wants without affecting his priority position at all. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's just going to try and keep busy and hunt down a score that he needs. The boys are paddling here again. Yuri Valadao is looking to get into this one.
Okay, he needs a 6.64, like we said.
He's driving down the line. He's got some serious speed going here. He's driving through the barrel.
Wow.
He's going to get a pretty decent score for this. He's looking for something more. Just a little chop, hop, roll, just as a little victory lap on that, showing off. And Yuri Valadao, he didn't need much, a 6.64, and I think he might get pretty close, if not get the score for that. We'll see what the judges give him.
Man, that was quite a barrel. Backdoored that section, made it out the other side. He's got to be rewarded for that, as we see GT on the left, throwing that 360 in the barrel, and another one.
Okay, so Yuri Valadao now will have to really up his game. I think GT is going to seriously improve his situation. He's already got
a 5.8 and a 7.3.
And that last wave coming in is definitely going to improve on that 5.88.
I don't know. That right-hand barrel of Uri's is pretty solid. We have to see GTs once again. But check it out. Former world champion in the red, driving down, setting up for the inside section. It worked out for him, didn't it, Sasha?
It was a pretty frothy barrel. I don't know how he negotiated his way through that. It looked pretty bumpy. Here he hits a crazy bump, almost loses control, and just manages to find a little roller section off a little oncoming lump. And it was just kind of a little show off. I've still got control. I come out that barrel. Maybe a mini claim almost, that little roll, just for the fun of it.
Well, it's certainly not going to hurt his score. Now we're waiting for the scores on those waves. Let's take a look at the replay of the left. Guilherme Tamega is reappearing for that barrel. We didn't see him go in, but he came out.
And a beautiful pocket spin, and backs it up with another one just to show control. And he only needs to improve on a 5.88. So I don't know what the judges are going to give him. I didn't see the beginning of the wave. What I see is what you see. That is the screen right now. And that is all I can really talk about and tell you about.
That is a massive set coming in.
I'm so tempted to poke my head out the commentary booth right now because I can hear the crowd on the beach going crazy.
Yeah, can we get a shot of the sets coming in?
As a massive set rolls through on the left. And hopefully Guilherme Tamega is not caught inside on this thing. So we'll see if one of the cameramen can give us something there. There you can see a massive white water just unleashing.
Wow, look
Boys
at that.
are taking a
Look at the
step
people
back
getting back. The water's going to go up and over on the fans.
You can see the water actually washing over onto the road. This is as big as El Gringo is good, I want to say. You don't really want to be surfing it much bigger than this.
Okay.
It just becomes survival.
The score came through for Yuri Valadao, still waiting for Guilherme Tamegas. Oh, so a 7.38, which momentarily puts Yuri Valadao in the lead. But Guilherme Tamega's score coming back now with a 7.25. So with 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining, Yuri Valadao needs a 7.2 to knock Guilherme Tamega out of first place. So it is coming down to the last couple minutes. Once again, some great bodyboarding action here at the GoPro IBA World Tour.
And I'm going to go back to that question that you asked me earlier about going right and going left and the scoring potential and the priority potential. That is exactly this is a perfect example of it. They both went opposite ways. Yuri on the wave before, GT on the next one, and I think Yuri might have got back out there just before Guilherme, but he did catch the wave before, so he had a lot longer time to get out there, and it did pay off for Yuri. He did get a slightly higher score, 7.38, but Guilherme Tamega was quite easily be able to milk the score of a 7.25 out of that last wave, and that just shows the scoring potential on the left and the right is very similar. And you can see a pullback shot there of Yuri, and this is the
different angle.
The different angle. Yuri Valadao looking for something big down the end here.
Oh, this is a different wave. Sorry.
Wow, he was just unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with 3.5 minutes to go, he takes off on a wave before he gets all the way back outside. I mean, is that a mistake, Sasha?
I don't think so. I think that wave looked really good when he took off, and I could see the pullback shot just for a moment there. He was in a very good position on the peak. The wave just didn't offer him much. I think there may have been just a little bit too much water on the reef from that last set still, and that just created a bit of a crumbly end section. He was unable to negotiate a good maneuver off, opted to pull out. He still has time, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. He can get back out there and get another ride and try and redeem himself as this heat counts down.
It is counting down, 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go. And, I hate to say it, but I think that was a mistake by Yuri Valadao to take off on that wave. I mean, it didn't offer any scoring potential. Obviously, there's no way that he could know that before. But, man, to take off on the wave before he actually gets all the way back outside is strange to me.
I guess hindsight is 20/20 vision, isn't it?
It certainly is. Easy for me to say. And I will also notice that it looks like Guilherme Tamega is paddled over. He has priority, and he's paddled over to where the rights take off. He's already sitting over there for when Uri gets back outside to not let him catch a wave.
I
with
think
a minute 25.
That's a little bit of strategy paying off right
100%.
there. He knows he needs to keep Yuri off a wave. Yuri's capable of getting a 7.2 on just about anything. So, Guilherme Tamega is going to use his priority as a shield to defend Yuri Valadao off just about anything that he can.
1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Priority to yellow, as we see right there.
That's an awesome view for us here. We can see the priority situation.
Great work by crew downstairs, showing the in-shot shot. And look at this, Uri paddling. He knows that GT has priority. GT lets him go. I'm surprised.
I think GT could see this wave didn't have much scoring potential, but let's see if Yuri Valadao can milk a score out of it.
He needs a 7.2.
And he gets a big roll.
Wow.
Good extension, full body.
Another one maybe.
And a little invert, and he holds on, trying to push through this white water.
Oh, he pops out. He does.
So he rides out of that, and I don't know what the judges are going to give him, but he needs a pretty serious score.
Well, that's going to be his last wave. 25 seconds to go. Obviously, he's not going to get any other waves. And is Guilherme Tamega going to catch a wave in the last seconds of the heat? He is.
Guilherme Tamega taking off on the right. He's chasing down Yuri Valadao, literally. And
good change of the angle right there. Nice invert under the barrel.
That was pretty intense. He was literally doing an invert out into the flats, getting
Yeah.
pushed down, and managed to ride out of it.
Okay, so here's the situation. The heat's over. Halfway through the quarterfinals, we are. Guillermo Tamega was in the lead before those two waves. Uri Valadao needed a 7.2, and he threw a roll, and then that invert. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I think I'm guessing it's not enough. I think Uri's going to get something like a 6.5.
I'm guessing similar to that, yep. I don't think he's going to get the score, but I'll leave that up to the judges. This was a pretty good roll, full
Pretty
body
big.
extension, nice air, and he looks for another little section here and does a little invert. I mean, he did pack it in, and it was a pretty solid wave. I don't know what the outcome's going to be here. It's a pretty tricky situation to be in, and I'm sure Guilherme Tamega knows that he could be in a bit of trouble if Uri Valadao does get the score.